Let's talk references. Stay tuned. Hey sitters, welcome back to another video. It is Lydia, thanks for joining me. And in today's video, we're going to talk about references. So what is a reference and how can we get good ones? So reference letters are actually usually more used for nannies, but I've seen more and more babysitting clients ask for them. A reference is usually written or verbal, and is a letter of recommendation from a past client or a current client to a possibly new client. And the letter of recommendation just has everything from how they liked using you and how you worked in their household, how you interacted with the kids, basically everything positive about how you were as a babysitter for them. So this isn't a make or break for a lot of babysitting clients, but it could be a make or break for nanny clients, families that you're looking to nanny for. So as your clientele grows, there is a possibility of having a bad reference or a bad recommendation. And I'm not talking about you're gonna go ask somebody who doesn't like your services or was unhappy, or somebody you burned bridges with, to write you a letter of recommendation, because that sounds very silly. But if you're working with the online platforms to find jobs, there is a place to leave a review. So although I don't find that references and reviews are the same thing, with reviews you have no say in whether it is a good review, a bad review, or if they leave one at all. So there's more room for somebody to leave you a negative review or reference, which can ruin a reputation. I also don't think that word of mouth and references are the same thing either. So references are from clients that you have worked for personally to a potential client. I find word of mouth can be somebody you work for tells somebody else that you babysit, and they tell somebody else, and they tell somebody else, and they tell somebody else. So by the end of the chain, whatever client is coming to you may have gotten your name from somebody who's never used you. So there's no way that person can vouch for you whether you're a good sitter or not. So I don't believe that is a reference. But word of mouth can help you grow. But also, again, if somebody used you and didn't like your services, that also spreads just as quickly. So moral of the story, don't leave on bad terms. I think every family you work with, you should leave on good terms as much as possible. There's opportunity to work with those families again, even if you are not babysitting, maybe you're going into another industry. There's a lot of connections to that you can make with families, or there's networking that can be done, or opportunities that can arise that you may need to reach out to that family again for those things. So never never leave on bad terms. I think you leave on good terms as much as you can. You'll be surprised about how small a big city feels when you start connecting the dots and making connections. And if those connections, or if you leave on a bad term and those connections don't happen, you can miss opportunities. I know a nanny who left on bad terms with a family, and this wasn't her career. She was going into a different industry for her career. But when she was trying to get into that industry, the family that she burned bridges with was really tied into that industry, so she ended up not getting the job and not getting the opportunity. And I think it did have an influence, that family had an influence on whether she got that job or not. So also, referrals can be used for other things outside of babysitting. For example, if you're in high school and you need a college reference letter or a recommendation letter, those families that you babysit for are perfect people to write you recommendation letters for college or for another job outside of babysitting. So references are not just within babysitting. They're all over. They're for everything and everything we do. So for babysitting, the best way to get a letter of recommendation or reference is to go to current clients and basically say, I would like to see if you could write me a letter of recommendation for future clients, as I'm trying to grow my clientele, and I think your word would mean a lot. Alrighty, that is all I have for you today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. I've seen people actually have questions about topics I've done videos on already, but I am happy to update them if you have more questions within that video after watching that video. If you look back on my channel, I have a lot of great tips and tricks to become a better babysitter. And hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any awesome tips and tricks coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.